इन्होंने चौकीदार का नाम दिया था। तो जो चौकीदार की सरकार है वो चौकीदार तो चौकीदारी पूरी करेंगे और नवाब को भी जवाब तो देना ही पड़ेगा और जिम्मेवारी से बच नहीं सकते। When power rests with people who act irresponsibly, will this parliament not have the power to correct that wrong and tell people what their responsibility is, to make people answerable to the very people who have elected you? So the answer is power and responsibility. The balance needs to be struck, and that balance is what this legislation is seeking to address. Unaccountable, irresponsible. I mean, these are the words used. So I would go by that somehow the power structure in Delhi has been unaccountable and irresponsible by the manner in which the neutral bureaucracy has been dealt with. I do not know, I mean, I can only quote a great example of our own Prime Minister when he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, and we know how all kinds of cases, fake cases, etc. were made, and how those chief secretaries used to be appointed by the central government. Did they beat them up? Did they take them to a corner? Did they assault them? Answer is no. You don't do that. You battle it out in the court of law. You battle it out by the method which is prescribed by law. But here, the chief secretary, here the bureaucracy had been put under immense pressure to do the wrong. Arvind Kumar, a person, a bureaucrat working with the office of Deputy CM, is a witness in the case of शराब घोटाला। शराब घोटाले में गवाही उसकी है कि किस तरीके से कोने में ले जाकर प्रेशर किया जाता था, गलत काम करवाए जाते थे। उसका क्या कोई इलाज नहीं निकलेगा कि आप गलत काम करवाने के लिए ब्यूरोक्रेसी के ऊपर प्रेशर बनाते रहेंगे? अभी पिनाकी जी ने पढ़ के बताया, जजमेंट में एक्साइटेड है। 400 से ऊपर लोगों को आपने बिना सर्विस कमीशन के, स्टेट सर्विस कमीशन होता है, सेंट्रल सर्विस कमीशन होता है, बिना सर्विस कमीशन के, बिना वैकेंसी निकाले, बिना कुछ किए अपने रिश्तेदारों को 1-1.5 लाख रुपए की नौकरी दे दी। बाकी लोग क्या करेंगे जी? इस देश में इतने लोग बैठे हैं जिनको नौकरियां चाहिए, काम चाहिए। आप अपनी मर्जी से सरकार चलाएंगे? उसका इलाज है। और एक सवाल इन्होंने किया, 3 साल 10 साल, अरे एक्सटेंशन, क्योंकि वो आपके आदरणीय अध्यक्ष जी 370 पेज का नाम इन्होंने लिया था शीला जी के खिलाफ। जिस तरीके के घोटाले इन्होंने किए हैं वह 3-3, 5-5 हजार पेज हैं। वो 3-3, 5-5 हजार पेज के लिए उसको एक्सटेंशन देनी पड़ती है क्योंकि इतने मोटे मोटे घोटाले किए हैं। नाउ कमिंग टू द मीट ऑफ द मैटर, जो रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन एक्ट है,
try to conclude also.
Please sir, I will. So the state's reorganization, which was brought in 1956, several changes have come, and finality is 2023, where Supreme Court gives control over services to Delhi government, and then ordinance was brought, and now people are saying, why was ordinance brought? Because act could have been brought, bill could have been brought. There was a gap of about 6-7 months, 5-3 months. So my point is, within less than 24 hours, when the Shishmahal Ghotala was being investigated by the Vigilance Department, that not just that officer, 70-80 officers were transferred overnight. Now these are the officers which were investigating the scam, and because they were investigating the scam, overnight they tried to circumvent the scheme of governance and transfer those officers. Thus there was a need to bring in an ordinance, and after bringing an ordinance, the bill has been brought in, and this bill has been brought in to correct the status. So the statutorily, so why was this brought in? This bill has been brought in to statutorily balance the interest of nation with the interest of Union Territory of Delhi in administration of the capital, by giving purposeful meaning to the manifestation of democratic will of the people reposed both in the central government as well as GNCTD, that is National Capital Territory region of Delhi. So by virtue of this, what has really happened is that a particular body, National Capital Civil Services Authority, has been established. And this National Capital Civil Services Authority will have 3 members. Chief Minister, who is not just the Chief Minister, but also the presiding officer of this committee, of this authority. Will have a member secretary, who's a member secretary of Home Secretary of the state, of Union Territory of Delhi is going to be the member secretary. Then Chief Secretary of Delhi, because he is the principal officer dealing with administrative issues. What can it do? It can deal with transfers, postings of officials and disciplinary matters. Sole discretion on several matters, including those related to National Capital Civil Services, summoning, prorogation, dissolution of Delhi Legislative Assembly. This is all what has happened. Now, being the capital of Delhi, being the capital of India, Delhi had been administered by the President of India directly earlier. And a sui generis status was, however, conferred on Delhi, whereby it retained the union territory nature and with a legislature. A lot has been quoted on 239A, entry 43, list 2. Now the judgment, which has been off-quoted, I'm reading that part. So judgment says, in the absence, and I'm sure people familiar with legal procedures know that any judgment records whole kinds of arguments and all kinds of facts, and then it gives certain specific subject matter related statements. So where it says, in absence of any specific parliamentary legislation dealing with the subject of services as contained in entry 41 of list 2 of the 7th schedule specifically and in detail, the Honorable Supreme Court was pleased to pass a judgment on such and such date, and whereas in view of its special status as a national capital, a scheme of administration has to be formulated by parliamentary law to balance both local and national democratic interests which are at stake, which would reflect the aspirations of the people through joint and collective responsibility of both the government of India and government of National Capital Territory of Delhi. So this statutory balance, the interest of nation with interest of union territory, will give purposeful meaning to the manifestation of democratic will. Our constitution, the formation of Delhi as a union territory is unique in itself. It may be remembered that every union territory is administered by the president acting through an administrator, and while any UT may have an elected body, it does not diminish the supreme control of the president and the parliament over them as per the constitutional scheme. आदरणीय अध्यक्ष जी, इसके अंदर इस मामले में जो ग्रुप ए सर्विसेज हैं और या जो दानिक्स हैं, उनके ऊपर पोस्टिंग और इन सब चीजों का अधिकार जो है वो केंद्र का है, सेंट्रल सर्विसेज। और उसके अलावा जो ग्रुप बी, ग्रुप सी, ग्रुप डी, बाकी जो चीजें हैं, उसके ऊपर जो बॉडी रहेगी वो ओवरसी करेगी। इनके अपॉइंटमेंट्स वैसे होंगे कि अगर कोई कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है तो वो मामला लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर के पास जाएगा और उनका वर्ड जो है वो सर्वोपरि होगा, ओनली इन केस ऑफ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट। अदरवाइज रायशुमारी से ये काम होगा, और रायशुमारी करने में कोई बुराई नहीं है जी। दैट इज व्हाट बैलेंस इज ऑल अबाउट, एंड दिस बैलेंस ऑफ पावर टू गिव जिम्मेवारी एंड टू गिव रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इज व्हाट दिस लेजिस्लेशन इज ऑल अबाउट। अंत में मैं एक ही बात कहकर अपनी बात समाप्त करना चाहती हूं, और वो बात है कि जिस तरीके से इन्होंने ये तमाम चीजें की हैं, मिस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, मिस गवर्नेंस, तो ऐसे में अगर केंद्र में नरेंद्र मोदी जी की सरकार है और जिनको इन्होंने चौकीदार का नाम दिया था, तो जो चौकीदार की सरकार है वो चौकीदार तो चौकीदारी पूरी करेंगे और नवाब को भी जवाब तो देना ही पड़ेगा और जिम्मेवारी से बच नहीं सकते।
थैंक यू। श्री रंजीत रेड्डी जी।